The King of Fighters is a series held strong by legacy. What began as a crossover of SNK's classic games, KOF took on a life of its own, adding characters and changing rosters nearly every year for more than a decade. Series mainstays like Kyo Kusanagi and Terry Bogard will always take center stage, but every now and then we get newcomers who try to make a name for themselves. Sometimes we get welcome additions, sometimes we get forgettable sideshows, and sometimes we get Ash Crimson. With KOF 14 making its debut, we're getting a fresh plate of newcomers to toss into the salad. And, oh boy, I may have happened upon the worst character design in the whole game. Over-designed, uncoordinated, and clashing colors everywhere, this design is just agony to look at, and I think everyone knows who I'm talking about. Not Sylvie Paula Paula, because she's literally Chiari Pamu Pamu in a fighting game, and that's freaking awesome. No, I'm talking about Shun'ei, the frontman for Team China. Where do I even begin? You want to talk about his color scheme? I want to say that the primary colors are white and black with red accents, but then he's got a purple tie and shirt trim, yellow accents, and they thought to top this off with moss green hair. And then when he uses his powers, you get blue and orange. Look at this color palette. There's a reason why we say less is more, because more is not always more. If you slimmed down this palette to white, black, and red, and maybe yellow accents, you'd have a palette that's nice and easy on the eyes and has been proven to work before. But the green hair and the purple tie ruin everything. Even Sylvie, a character whose palette looks like a jar of Skittles, has more consistent colors. Now, while I know nothing about Asian boy band fashion, I do know that I do not like these clothes. Jacket over shoulders only works for delinquents, and one pant leg hiked up works never. The headphones look the most out of place. Why put giant headphones on a character who doesn't have music as a core theme or interest? He just looks like a ripoff of mid-2000s Nomura. Like, the really bad stuff. And honestly, I wouldn't actually mind his pop star fashion, but nothing about his actions or animations suggests that he's an actual pop star. In fact, he's got these arm wraps and these Chinese beads like he's trying to remind you that he's a martial artist, but those elements are so forcibly slapped on that the blend just doesn't work, on top of the fact that he's got stand powers. It's like he has these hand-picked design elements that are trying too hard to be unique, but can't be bothered to commit to a single cohesive idea, so everything just piles into a half-assed train wreck. Honestly, I actually would have been much more accepting if he were something like a male Athena. If he was constantly trying to play to the crowd, trying to impress girls with flamboyant showboating or something. But instead, he has this ambiguous, brooding loner personality that completely contradicts the rest of his design. Why dress extravagantly if you're not going to be an extravagant person on the inside? If you're going for a mysterious pretty boy with weird powers, why isn't that the core of your design instead of this pop star getup? The beauty of character design in a fighting game is that characters must express everything about themselves at a single glance, historically out of sheer necessity. When a player puts in a quarter to play a fighting game, they only have less than a minute to pick a character who catches their eye. Thus, characters need to have a defined theme that is expressed through recognizable elements. There is no room for subtlety. But this is a mess of mismatching ideas that just doesn't come together. The King of Fighters cast is memorable because they can express so much with relatively little. Characters like Kyo, Terry, or K-Dash achieve more with their personalities and moves than Shun'ei thinks he does with his misleading fashion and ridiculous color palette. This design vexes me because it's a failure of conveyance. A costume that fails to communicate a character who has no personality to back up his moves. And that's today's Design Shop. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see me talk more about character design. And don't forget to check out our other shows if you want to see more anime and game content. I'm A.B.I, and... I didn't think this show would be about trashing designs I hate, so I think it might be time I make a design shop about a character design I actually really like.